I'm going to make this inescapably clear when I say this. I just want you to close your eyes. One moment. Just one little moment. I want you to picture everyone in your current community right now. Now picture us all going on a safari, right? Some of you just cringed a little bit, right? I can sense that. It's not that hard to figure out. For some of you, I need you to take something into account. You're all going on a safari, and there's a crash. And you all somehow wind up in quicksand. We're all part of it. We're all kind of in it, right? There are different types of people that are surrounding you. Now, you're going to have Group A of people who see that they're in quicksand, understand that this is dangerous, they can't stay here, and they're gonna grab whatever vine they can find and they're gonna pull themselves up, right? There's Group B, and in that cluster of Group B, they're stuck in a rock. No one can see that they're stuck on a rock because no one can see through the quicksand, right? One person is not going to vocalize it, right? Because they need more time to recognize that they're in the quicksand. It could be guilt, it could be pride, it could be anything for why they don't vocalize that they need help getting pulled out. And that's okay. You need to give people that time. You need to give people that grace to muster up the courage to say that they need that help. Now, the second person that's stuck between that rock and that hard place, give or take 5 minutes of them shimmying and trying to pull along the vine, they recognize that their strength alone is not enough to help. So they're immediately just going to call for help. It doesn't matter. They just want to get out of the quicksand. And everyone can see that the sun is setting behind them. They can hear the predators coming because, the birds are flying away. The animals are screeching in the background. It's time to go. This bank, this pile of quicksand is essentially a drive-through for predators. They come here all the time. They know things get stuck, and they'll find a way to get to us if we do not move the way we need to move. Now, Group C is the beginning of the danger in our territory. So these are the people who, let's put them in 2 categories. There's one in Group C who they see the vine, they grab the vine, but they don't move. They don't shimmy. They expect you, the people in Group A, and possibly some of the people in Group B who've gotten out of that muck, gotten out of that mud, to pull them. Their full weight. They expect you to completely lift them out. 2 in Cluster C is a little bit more dangerous because they won't grab the vine. They won't hold it, they won't grasp it. It's too much of an ask, and it's beyond the laziness of the first one in Group C. They will fold their hands. They will lay back in the quicksand and sink willingly and demand that you get in the mud with them. And if you get back in that mud, if you get back in that quicksand, they will drown you. Because how are you supposed to have one vine that only has the tensile strength to only pull one person to lift you both out? And there's a chance that that person might even push you down as soon as you get in, just to lift themselves up, not to get out of it. Not to get out of it, by the way. They're still not getting out of it, because again, that's too much of an ask. They're just pushing you down just so they can be somewhat ahead. They don't have the forthright and sense to just move. They don't want to shimmy, that's too much, or they've given up. Either way, it's not really your problem. And then there's Group D, and these are the most dangerous of people. These are the ones that are panicking. One, they're panicking because they just refuse to look around and see the rest of the community that's actively pulling, actively working together. They're attracting the predators with their panic instead of just grasping the vine in front of them to help pull. They're not calling for help like Group B. They're not, do not mistake them for the same people. They're not the same. You will have to wait for either them to calm down, or we have to jump to the next solution. Now, before we get into the solution, we need to talk about the second one of cluster D, okay? D is screaming because they would rather see the predators eat everyone, so they're the final survivor. They have no good intentions. They're not trying to move forward. They are perfectly content with watching everyone struggle, even though they're either perfectly capable or they have access to resources like B, where they can just ask for the help. They're just making noise. They would rather see everyone in the community suffer or pass if they don't get what they want. I'm pretty sure we can all easily think of someone that acts like that. And not only that, they're going to be just like in the second person of Group C. They're going to tell you to get back in the mud, get back in the quicksand with them. Except they're a little bit different. They're built a little bit different. See, if you were to get back in the mud, in the quicksand, and try to help D2, you're going to look and you're going to notice that their hands are moving. See, the only reason why they're going to grab the vine is to tie a noose around your neck. They have no other motives. They have no other, nothing. They have nothing. They are devoid of life. And they're trying to suck your life out. That's all they're good for. They have nothing else going for them. So if you get back in that mud, you continue communication, you continue doing things with that person, they are going to tie the noose around your neck, pull it, and say it's your fault that you're dead. Now, I'm not here to talk about them, because we can identify those people, you know. it's kind of obvious after a while. I know this is a hard part of the conversation, but it needs to happen. Anyone can be a part of any sector or cluster. We just have to be able to tell what they show and where to file them away as. It can be your friends, it could be your family, it could be anyone that you know, your acquaintances. Like I said, everybody says, the people at work are not your friends. I mean, there's truth to that. If you don't go anywhere after work, that counts. But we need to closely examine the people that are holding nooses to us and trying to say that it's love, and they're trying to say that they're being helpful when it's not. We also need to take a good look at people that are folding their hands on their chest and willingly sinking back, because you're wasting your time. I'm not immortal. Last I checked, I'm not immortal. I don't have the time to waste. If they've become masters at wasting their time and their life, cut them off. If they treated you poorly, cut them off. Any type of discomfort. See, women especially need to crash out more often. And when I say crash out, I don't mean take yourself to jail. Don't go to jail, okay? I say you need to crash out about yourself, as in your emotions, your heart, your soul, your energy, every single thing. It matters. It's important. And there are people that are going to try to suck it out of you. Do not give them that chance. When you block, make sure they stay blocked. Make sure it's permanent. Make sure they understand that no type of disrespect is going to be handled over here. If you're going to come, make sure you come correct, or don't come at all. Don't even bother. Breathe wrong. I dare you. That's the type of timing that we're on now. I'm here to talk the solution. Now, for those people in group A and B who are actively fighting, actively making the choices to get out of the quicksand. Because, once you're out of it, if the predators are still coming, at the end of the day, you need shelter, you need provisions, you need water, you need food, you need every single thing that you need to survive, right? Because, that's sensible. That's a natural human instinct. Solution, if you are still a compassionate person, if you still have some type of feelings for them, you can tie the vine around the tree. I mean, the tree can already hold them. You pulled yourself out, so it's entirely possible. You were just trying to make the time go faster, but you can't operate on anyone else's time. And it's arrogant to assume that you'd be able to help everyone. You just can't do it. It's not possible. You just can't. You can tie the vine on the tree and you can walk away, so when they're ready to decide the value of their life being worth it, they can pull themselves out. Now, for some people, B might be the better option here, which is to just drop the vine, let it go. When they're ready to get out, they can figure it out for themselves, especially if they're older than you, because they've had more time on this earth to do things. You can still exert kindness, you can still exert mercy, but you also need to be able to discern when your life is now becoming a risk. You are now being affected, because someone can take advantage of more than just your money. It could be your time, it could be your energy, it could be just your general output. And if you put too much into it, you may come to realize that that person that you thought was in group B, where, you know, they're just not announcing that they need help. They're in group C or D, and they're actively choosing to do nothing or plotting to do harm against you. Now, I'm not going to say everybody in the world is in group C and D, because that's not reality. That's not how things actually run. What I'm saying is, we need to be able to know when to leave group D to the predators. We need to let that just happen. And if you were in cahoots or in cohorts with group D or even group C, honestly, because what are they doing? They're doing absolutely nothing. Nothing is changing around them. Nothing is adjusting. Nothing's absolutely happening. And you're supposed to stick around for that? I mean, you can decide that's your life, but it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me to do that. It sounds like a waste of time, right? They got it. They got it. You know, sometimes you have to let people have it. You have to let people have their fate. Let them have their karma. Just let them. You don't have to save everybody. It's not your job to save everybody. And it's arrogant to assume that you can. Because some people really are unteachable. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And that's fine. It's fine. Doesn't mean you have to have less compassion. Doesn't mean that your position is any different. You just recognize that the sun is set already. It's already dark. How are you going to navigate the unknown without a fire? How are you going to do that without any type of light? Doesn't make sense, right? Seems very silly. And the more time that you spend waiting in that drive-through, you're going to start seeing a lot more red eyes. You're going to start seeing a lot more predators. You're going to hear them. They're going to get closer and closer and closer to you. And it's going to be inescapable. And you don't want to be in that radius when they come. Do you want to, if you're already tired from pulling yourself out of the muck, do you want to spend more energy fighting off things when the people that are voluntarily staying in the mud? I'm not saying stop cluster B. Don't help cluster B. That's not what I'm saying here. The people that actually need the help and they're asking for it and they're moving forward, continue helping them by all means. But if they're in group C or group D where they're not helping and they're actively causing harm, why are you staying? Is it clicking? Our natural human survival instinct should be there, but everybody's not built the same. You know, you can't expect yourself from other people, and that's okay. That's fine. You can accept them, but they also have to accept their fate. You can't equally say that you want to get out of the mud and then you don't push forward. You're not even grabbing the vine. You're not even pulling yourself. We've all been in situations where we may have acted as C. We may have even acted as D and wasn't even aware of it, calling the predators forward. Tying a noose for another person when you could just be pulling yourself out. We've all had those moments where we think about things, but those are thoughts. Those are not actions. And if the actions don't match what's actually being said, it's not really worth sticking around for, is it? Stay dangerous.